Hey gang, I'm gonna give you a little more behind the scenes of kind of what I do for my own workouts in today's video, a little bit more real, if you will. I'll also be answering questions that you've left me here on email and Instagram to give you more than just watching me work out. But some of you are interested in how I work out and what I do, and so figure it is a live commentary. So got my tea, let's get warming up and let's get to it. All right, so I'll just start with a little bit of shoulder warming up. Always very important to get the shoulders moving and grooving. Push-ups and pull-ups today. I like to do this superset back to back. It's very satisfying. And some of the things that I'm looking into researching these days is how to keep tension balanced in uniform around the joints of the body to make them stronger, more resilient, and well, basically bulletproof so you can get stronger. And one of the ways to do that is with supersetting. So we'll just start off with some basic hanging exercises, building up some stability in the shoulders. Arms are feeling it. I did my video the other day on tricep extensions, on bodyweight tricep extensions. Still a little tight and stiff in the arms from all that shooting. Okay, yes, I do my push-ups on the kitchen floor, largely because this is the only floor I've got that is not soft. It's a lot of people, they do kind of their push-ups on like mats and pads and stuff, and I've always found that actually to be more uncomfortable. Having a solid foundation for the hands is crucial for good, proper alignment, stability, and wrist strength. So, seeing as the only hard floors in my home are on the kitchen, that's where I do my push-ups. You go where you can. So first question of the day, is it possible to work one area of the body for strength and one area for focusing on muscle building, hypertrophy, different times a day? And I say, sure, why not? You can always build strength and muscle at the same time, of course. It's going to be pretty symbiotic from one another, but you can err a little bit on one side or the other. If you focus on strength training, you're talking longer rests, not working quite as high to a level of fatigue and against greater resistance. Building muscle, on the other hand, that's moderate to fairly high resistance, shorter rest periods, and a lot more emphasis on working to a high level of fatigue. So in today's workout, I'll be showing you kind of how I do a little bit of both, but why not? If you're working your lower body for strength, upper body for hypertrophy, building muscle, most certainly possible. You can do it in the same workout. You can have alternating days during the week. However, it seems to work best for you in your preferences and training style. All right, focusing on elbows in, warm up set. Yeah, feeling good today, feeling nice and solid. Get my little tea break going on here. My black tea, Fast Lane, Boulder, Colorado. Shout out to you guys. You make the best tea ever. All right, that's good stuff. All right, work on torquing those arms in. It's really making a big difference getting those arms torqued in. Pull myself over. Get my introductory close push-ups here. Oh yeah. Feeling much more stable, much stronger these days. Super key. Yeah. Yes. All right, next question. Asking basically about chain training. For those who don't know, chain training is my holistic approach to using tension throughout the body rather than trying to isolate it in particular areas. It's easier on the joints, better for developing the physique and and having more holistic tension for athletic performance. More on that in my book, Smart Bodyweight Training, if you're interested. But anyway, when you're using chain training, like a lot of it's focused mentally. And when you're using it initially, you're really thinking about engaging all of the muscles along a muscle chain. But over time, should it become like automatic habit? Something you don't need to think about? And the answer is absolutely. Because tension controlled by your brain. This bar cannot make my muscles work hard. Gravity doesn't make my muscles work hard. That stuff is used to supply resistance, and resistance is different than muscle tension. Always remember that. It's not resistance that makes you stronger or builds muscle. It's the tension you put in your muscles through your focus and concentration. So that's what chain training is about. When you use anything mentally over repetition, it becomes a habit and you don't need to think about it as much. So yes, initially you've got to think about, for example, in my next set, I'm really thinking about torquing my arms in and getting my lats to fire. That's my thing that I'm working on right now. But over time, that'll become an automatic habit and I don't have to think about it, so I can think about other things. Ooh, that's a feeling good. Surefire progression. You should always feel better about an exercise from one week to the next. Like that move, that felt way better than it did last week. Feels stronger, more stable, much more engagement in my lats. It's just so much better than it was last week and the week before that and so on. Give myself a little bit of rest in between. All right, let's see. Torque it in. So I'm focused forearms, biceps, back, everything down my pull chain. There. Feeling good. Now, I won't lie. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because it'll push me a little bit harder in my own workouts. There's something about having people watch you and having a camera on you that makes you work a little bit harder. Torque in, over the arm. Yeah, there we go. So like I said before, like now I'm kind of working a little more on the strength side. More resistance, not really pushing that much to a super high level of fatigue. I want to save a little in the tank, but I'm trying to get as much weight on that working arm as I can handle with stability in my shoulder and my back. Pull myself over. Oh yeah. The next question up. Some people like to train muscle group twice a week. Some people like to do it 3 times a week. Why would it be one or the other? And the answer is simple, because workout frequency depends on the level of fatigue and your ability to recover. So if you have a lot more fatigue and less recovery, you need less frequency in order to ensure your recovery. So usually individuals who like work out like it's going to death battle, or they have other physical activity they do, like they're an athlete, twice a week seems to work better. But for other folks, they like to push themselves pretty hard, but it's not like a fight to the death, or their workout is like their primary form of physical activity. 3, maybe even 4 times a week could be an ideal way. It's one of those things you got to kind of experiment with yourself and see what works best for you. If you feel like you're overdriving your headlights, you won't make progress as quickly or as well, maybe even plateau. But if you feel like, man, I really feel like I should be doing more, then ramp it up. Add a couple sets, add an extra workout in the week, see what it does for you. All right, speaking of which, back to the pull-ups. Staying with the archer or the commando style. See if I can get a few more reps on this one here. Whew. Whew. Yeah, you know you're getting a good workout when you don't feel it focused anywhere. It's like all over the place. Forearm, biceps, back of the shoulders, the whole back, the traps. You want to take that tension, spread it out like cookie dough on kitchen counter with a rolling pin. Spread it out throughout your body. Don't try and focus. Don't try and isolate unless you need that for your specific goal, like, physical therapy. See, I'm out of breath. Like, pull-ups are cardio. When you do chain training, you use so much muscle that even seemingly simple exercises like pull-ups get you out of breath. A little tired on that one. That was 6. I believe we got 8 on the other. Rest out a little bit. Get the last 2 here in a second. Yeah, I can't use the top bar here because I'll hit my head on the ceiling. There's actually a notch here somewhere where I actually did that the first time I set up the Bodyweight Master. Yeah. There we go. I really recommend, of course, cleaning your floors whenever you do this sort of thing. Like, getting down with your face about an inch off the floor and finding all sorts of grody-ness is not the best way to spend a workout. So you can kind of see I'm modifying the pressure I have on my support hand there. Some of the great things about progressive calisthenics, you can change the resistance mid-rep or even mid-set. So instead of flat palming, I'm gumming up on my fingers, take some of the resistance or the assistance off of that arm. All right, so getting a little bit higher in the fatigue, a little bit closer to failure. So where my workout started out a little bit more emphasis on strength, now it's starting to transition a little bit more towards building muscle, really making the muscles really fatigued. Last question for today is talking about bloated abs. It's like abs are bloated. Been working that TBA, that suck-in muscle, but doesn't seem to be working. Thing is, this could be a number of things. It could be food sensitivities, like if you have a sensitivity for gluten or lactose or grains and stuff, things can kind of swell up here a little bit. But I know what you mean, because I kind of always felt like, whoa, kind of bloated and stuff. For me, at least, it had nothing to do with the abs at all. For me, it was a tilt in the pelvis. This is the common cross syndrome they talk about, where pelvis tilts forward, and as a result, the belly kind of goes bleh. It just kind of gets pushed forward. So in that regard, you want to focus on a number of things, tightening the glutes and the hamstrings, pull that pelvis more level, and that brings everything in, squeezes it in a little bit, keeping, yes, the abs tense, but also stretching out the hip flexors if need be. Could be a number of things regarding that posterior tilt, but a lot of times when people are like, oh, my belly is all out in front, boom, it's the pelvis that's actually pushing it forward. All right, last set. Final set here. Let's see if we can get a good 6 reps. That'll be a personal best here. Going higher into that rhythm. Last set, drain it. Go for the fatigue. Feeling real good in that bicep right now. Ooh. All right, so that was what, 7, I think? Yeah. May have to break this one up because the supporting arm is still working. So right now my right arm is coming to this with less energy than my left arm did when I first did it. In the first set, rather. Yeah, 2 to go. Same as before. Staying moving, staying loose. For the love of God, don't get out your cell phone and start scrolling. Distractions are the worst thing in the workout because your workout effectiveness, it's all up here. And anything that distracts your mind takes it off of the things that matter most for the success in your workouts. God, I wish I knew that when I was younger. Yeah. All right, final set here. Let's start on the right side. It's usually good to alternate which side you start with if you're doing an unilateral type exercise like this, but sometimes I forget. Okay, that was sloppy, but it's okay, because that's the great thing about bodyweight exercise a lot of the times is it can be sloppy. It's okay to have the last one be a little shaky, as long as it's safe. I mean, you don't want to do that with like handstand push-ups maybe, but hey, as long as you're grinding out and improving in some way, that's what matters. A little more tension in the back, that's what I'm learning today. Get a little more tension in the back. So what do you think, gang? Did you kind of like this sort of format, or do you want to see more of this? Do you not like it? Don't want to see any more of it? Either way, let me know down below, because I'm here to make videos, provide value for you, and the better you tell me what you want, the better I can give it to you. Also, if you want to leave me questions for future episodes, leave those down below in the RDP community as well. Be fit, live free.